slaughtered in America, treated like animals in American detention centers, clamped in cages, and they are Christians. Latin Americans don't come more Christian than that. They're Catholics, largely Catholics. They don't ask your identity before they clamp you in their detention camps. So please, I do not require Mr. Donald Trump to tell me how nasty my country has become. It is nasty. Does it need help? Yes, we need help. Do we need to find ourselves? Yes, we do. Has Donald Trump lied in any way? No, he largely told the truth. My own position is that yes, help us, but we must help ourselves. It is up to us to help ourselves. Now, why I said I'll lay down the American case first is because it dovetails into what I had already set myself this week. No saints, no sinners, just Nigerians.
Farotimi, pretty much reiterating what I also said. No matter what they are telling you right now, no matter what they are saying, America is this and that, there's something I want to remind you or possibly point out. There is nothing going on in Nigeria that America doesn't know. And they've been like that for years. They have their people in Nigeria. They have, it is America. And they will always pursue what really better their own interest. It is America. America went to this country, they went to that country, they did this or that. Listen, if Nigeria has a leader, if Nigeria actually have a government, you will not be ridiculed to this point. Yeah, Trump may probably go into this. You've seen those countries who went, that Trump went into this tariff crisis with at the time, because it could only probably compete with them economically or try to fight them economically and all of that stuff, right? That stage is respectful stage. Nigeria is not there. It's not in that stage where world economists and all of that will be targeting Nigeria in a way to say, oh, no. Nigeria is a beggarly nation. No thanks to the criminals who have mismanaged intentionally for decades. And this last decade is the worst that ever happened in the history of that contraption. They've kept the people more divided and then poorer. So you don't need Trump. You don't need America. In fact, the most you need of America is the weapons, I think. But if we are using the word Nigeria as a country, 65 years of independence, Nigeria has been so mismanaged that Nigeria is collecting used weapons, old weapons, aircraft that all these world powers are they want to dispose of. They are dumping them in Nigeria. And these are the weapons that Nigeria is parading as their own weapons, because they've not grown enough to actually generate electricity. 24 hours electricity for the entire country in 65 years. They've not been able to. Talk less of them building their own weapons and the rest of that. They couldn't. They haven't. So Nigeria is a beggarly nation, no thanks to these Olori Burukus in charge. And they have succeeded in raising generations, docile generations, who also believes that there is a ceiling to what they can aspire to be, the height they could go in life. They believe that the ceiling has been placed on them, and it is rude to try to want to pull out of it. They've raised a generation of cowards that will continue to enable them as well. So Nigeria have nothing to stand up to the rest of the world. So therefore, Nigeria needs help. And there's nothing wrong in asking for help. No, there's nothing wrong. Yeah? But you must have the will that you actually want something to change and you need help. And then you get the help. They do not have the intention of ending the terrorism in Nigeria. It is an industry. it keeps spreading and spreading and spreading until you have had enough. And then you will slide straight into civil war. When you slide into civil war, a lot of you will realize that you have more guns than your population in circulation in that contraption. I promise you. And then you realize that, once you have a decentralized existing administration in the contraption, when the whole thing collapsed and pathways and all that, majority will become warlords that will start controlling their own areas, territories. So to avoid all of that, maybe we should start doing it now, Isaac Fayoshe also kind of like dropped his own take on it. I want you to hear it.
Wow. The reason why we are still facing insecurity this much is because our president is desperate for second term. So even though he's got good policies, but he is unable to implement these policies. Look at state police. They said they back it. They said they love it. I've made over 50 videos on how state police can reduce our security problem by 65%. They know the truth, but they don't want to because he doesn't want to offend the governors, or he doesn't want the governors to have more power controlling their own police, so he can win second term. That's the only thing that is stopping state police. Imagine by the time they install all themselves, all the campaign body reinforce themselves back, you will see it will start backing up these policies. Look at local government autonomy. 2 years. Has that happened? No, he doesn't want to offend the governors. He wants one party state. He is so desperate for second term that to perform, it will be difficult, because to perform means you need to check your governors, check everybody, put them in check. But if you cannot do that because you want something from them, no, that cannot be growth. So we are not facing this insecurity because we can't solve the problem. We are facing it because our leaders are desperate, very, very desperate. They are happy to reinforce failure in our system. Look at Ekiti governor. Why will any normal party reinforce that kind of person? Think now. But because they don't want to rock the boat, they just want to yell at anybody as long as you are standing on this mandate. What mandate? Mandate that cannot implement its own policies. We are big on paper, but we are small. We are dwarf in real life. I'm telling you, and that's leadership problem. Desperation for second time. Look at Ekiti. I gave the governor 1 week to commission as 3 years anniversary. All the things I saw is like one bridge is dancing there, someone is praising him, one incomplete building by the hospital, or one all the things he has commissioned, they are less than 50 to 100 billion. And he has taken over 700 billion in the last 3 years. Come on, think about it. So when you reinforce failure too go they come. Insecurity go they come. I'm glad that people from the outside are now looking at it in another way. Maybe this will make you guys to sit tight. Nobody stays in power forever. All power belongs.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people who are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no way to make our own life. I'm highly disappointed of.
God bless you for us, Prof. And thank you, Isaac, as well. So going further, there are still more comments on this new development. And thank you so much to every one of you who's still around on Maiyegun's Diary tonight. So listen, if you haven't really liked the broadcast, take a moment and do that. You only need to do it once. Don't do it twice, because that means you've taken it back. Just once. And once is enough. All right? So, call you a few days ago, I'll use that as well, was quoted on this.
If non-oil revenue is going well, then we have no fear of whatever Trump is doing on the other side. And I've just signed off on a huge mechanization, program that every region we have a mechanized center for agricultural mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty.
So Kolu was saying that abati ti ebi bati kúrò nínú ìṣẹ́ tí kò ṣẹ́rẹ́. So mean if you remove if you take out hunger from poverty, then the poverty seems like will probably like a subside or something. That's a Kolu. It's not different from this time before your charade elections, right? When Kolu publicly or famously said this. It's been 2.5 years. He hasn't touched that. They announced, local government autonomy, only for that to just remain on the shelf. He was pushing state police. I think they are waiting for the National Assembly for that thing. But they had this constitutional review. And all other lies that, hang on, he said he commissioned the tractors. The tractors, that guy brought these Lebanese guys, right, those fraudsters. The tractors that they imported and they commissioned remained wherever they have kept them. But Tinubu is telling everybody that they are using the tractor. I mean, he's commissioned the tractors that will eventually reduce hunger. Recruit 50 million youth into the army. What do we eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, ẹ̀gẹ́. It's grown here. You create demand of consumption. Farmers will make more money. That's more money for the farmers. That's consumption. Kolu.
To recruit from the youths who are unemployed, 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps, we create our food. Abi, that's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
He suffered stroke and he's been managing that for a while. So Akpabiole right now is partly disabled. Just thought you should know. And some believes that whatever happens henceforth, going forward, all the signs are showing that Tinubu will be a one-term president of that contraption. Oh, somebody even said it, by the way. Please watch this.
Bola Tinubu, how far 2027? I've noticed in the last couple of days, your office, your campaign team have been relatively quiet about the re-election bids for 2027. Apart from a political campaign that your son Sheyi Tinubu went to do in Benin to inaugurate the City Boy movement. Of course, though it's not the hub of misguided misfits, delusional and government officials that should be in care homes with learning disability, all forms of schizophrenia, autism, some of them with attention ADHD, so to speak. Quite a long list of illnesses that currently marries or romances with our political office holders in Edo. So anything can happen. In all of the turmoil, the insecurity, the kidnappings, politics will continue to go on for Bebolo and his gang. But that's not the point. But how far you, Bola Tinubu, how far? This is what we were saying all of this while. They should focus on governing Nigeria. I made a video to stand, to put out in clear fact, in my own way, the pros and cons of the alleged invasion of the U.S. military into Nigeria. A lot of people have stood against it. They think it is sacrificing our sovereignty for what is not worth it. They have given examples of interventions in Iraq, in Syria, in Afghanistan, and even nearby neighbor here, Libya. But also, I've also been able to expose in that video that you need to watch later on a few of these interventions the United States have had without full-scale war, and some form of intervention that looks like support, funding, intelligence gathering, surveillance, working with the government. So we have a choice to choosing to either say no to the US government or allow them work with us to solve the problem. But that video will come up later. But I'm more concerned now that to asking Bola Tinubu and his co-conspirators, how far with 2027? Can you now see that 1 year is enough to change the dynamics of all of our conversations? You were cruising to control, to victory in your own words, and you felt like it was Uhuru yet. But now you are seeing that all of these things have started to play out, and a lot more will play out. Why we don't want an invasion of another government on our soil? We also do not want a stupid exclusion of the people from the running of things from in their own country. Yes, we don't want foreigners on our soil. But what about the indigenes that are exploiting, marginalizing, exposing us to all forms of attacks, violent attacks, so to speak? It's that time we call ourselves to order. Bola Tinubu, how far 2027? You cannot see that the ball is not in your court anymore. You don't hold the knife and the orange anymore. My people in Benin say, ule, kunario body moeji. Mami ule gare, izede ukbogaba. Oh, that's it. When the race is small, if it is easy, short distance, you can, as a lady, hold your breast and run, and you are careful. They see some level of panache, composure, style, elegance. But when the real race comes for life and death, you forget that you own two mammary glands. Again, Bola Tinubu, how far 2027? Can you focus on leading Nigeria? Whether or not you have 6 months to work, you have 1 day, 2 years, is it consequential?